I think one of the main things that we talked about on last week's episode was people being worried about what was going to happen after the fact that Copeland lost the match, right?
Yeah.
People weren't really sure what was going to happen. If you've been a wrestling fan, you know that once a match is signed, unless like something happens, the match is going to happen, right?
Yep.
The only thing Copeland could do was bring the intensity. And what he did makes logical sense, right?
Yep.
The reason that Copeland lost that match was because all the Death Riders came in there and were poking and prodding and cheating and do all this other stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do as, I guess, as rational as a professional wrestler can be? You're going to kill everyone else so your match can be one-on-one. That's the only way it could be. Like, there's no other way that you're going to have a one-on-one match, right? If you can't get the people to come in and help you, like, neutralize it, you kill everybody else. And it just makes the most sense. And plus, I think it helps, too, that Copeland was so intense about the entire thing.
Yeah.
Like, he brought that to another level, which has, I'm not going to lie, I don't know why this has not been a thing before. Like, Darby was a little intense with them, right?
Yeah.
Orange Cassidy isn't the type to be intense, but he was trying to pull it up, right? He was trying to bring out the intensity.
Mm-hmm.
Copeland has the proper, like, mentality, the proper focus, and the proper anger for this. And it's weird that it hasn't happened a lot before, but it's nice that it's happening now.
Yeah, I think it's mainly because whoever the main... There wasn't like one... I think the issue is there wasn't one main guy going for Moxley, right?
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like now you can for sure say it's Cope, right? And he, he's always done that. He always brings up the intensity, like for these types of things, for these types of feuds.
Mm-hmm.
Darby can't say Darby because what's going to happen with Darby is it's going to be a car crash.
Literally, because he literally crashed his car into their truck at one point a few months ago.
Yeah, and then he's going to get tossed around and killed. Like, that's... And then he's going to finally just win. That's Darby.
Mm-hmm.
Hangman didn't really get into there. Really get into it. They were just throwing in that match and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he kind of veered off and went somewhere else. And then Jay White is a different kind of... The way he does stuff is just different, right? He's the cunning guy. He's not going to, get super intense and just like try to take you out. No, he's going to try to figure out a way to slyly take you out.
Mm-hmm.
He's like the rogue. He's going to stab. He's going to find a way. And once he finds the way, he's going to assassinate you. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
But, but Cope is going to hit you head on. And I think that's like you were saying, like no one else has done that. But I think it's also because within their characters, they don't do it. Minus like Hangman. Hangman would do it and like literally burn down their house. But
literally,
Hangman's going to do that. Hangman's focus is somewhere else. He's battling demons right now.
the people that would bring the intensity, and this is also something we got to talk about too, right? Because we've had Ospreay has mentioned that he's been trying to go for the world title, has been distracted. Swerve has been mentioning that he was trying to go for the world title, but has been distracted. I think there's one more I'm forgetting. Was it
Ospreay, Swerve?
MJF has for sure, right? He's been talking about.
He's trying to get his way in there. He hasn't been head on with the Death Riders yet.
Yeah, there you go. That's what it is. But we've had a few people that have gone on the record to say that they are trying to go for the AEW World Championship in one way or another, right?
Mm-hmm.
And those three specifically that we mentioned are the people who would bring the intensity, other than Cope.
Right.
So right. It is nice to see, and also this makes me really believe that Moxley is not leaving Revolution World Champion. He's not. I don't think he is.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know, man. Like, because like he takes out everybody and then there's a new member. I don't know who it would be. Hopefully it's not Jay White or anything.
Wouldn't it be some shit if it was fucking Danielson?
But that comes back and is just like the leader.
Yeah, the return, like him, Cope and Moxley are in their like final fight stare down. They're both like bloody messes, right? Because Cope said he wanted like an NWA World Title drag out fight. That's what I'm expecting to see happen, right?
Yeah.
They're going like 20 minutes. They're bleeding. They're sweating. They're dead tired. And then all you hear is like Danielson's music, either Final Countdown or his "You're Gonna Get Your Fucking Head Kicked In" song. One of those two. He comes. He looks at Moxley, and then he does the knee to Cope, and we're all freaking out. And this is how we get the Death Rider story to continue past Revolution.
I mean, it would bring a different level to the Death Riders.
That's for damn
sure. It could be
sure.
like, and then like, they ask who the mastermind is, and it's been Danielson the whole time or something.
Yeah. And
then
it would be weird, right? Because they killed Danielson to do this, but something.
Well, they had to make it look legit, right?
Yeah.
But that would be weird. Yeah.
It would be weird. I don't think that's going to happen. That's just like a random thing that came to my mind. But realistically, what I think is going to happen is no matter what, I don't think Moxley's leaving World Champion, right? It's either Copeland or Christian Cage are going to have that title above their head by the end of the night.
I want to say for sure it's not going to be Christian.
You don't think so?
Nope. I don't think he's going to make it. Or if he does, the Ops is going to just beat the shit out of him.
That could be a thing too.
It's not going to be the Death Riders beating the crap out of him. It's going to be the Ops. And then Moxley takes advantage and wins. He just escapes, right? Like, it would be a way for Christian Cage to lose that contract that he's carrying around all the time. But I think whenever he cashes in, he's going to lose. I don't think he's going to win with it.
I feel like that'd be shitty, right? Because like you don't want. I hate to do the comparison. But it's damn near the same thing. Like if you involve Money in the Bank for the first time, like if you do that for the first time, having your first holder lose it, it's a lit. You can fix it the next year, right? For sure. But having your first holder lose it just kind of sucks, and it feels like they're setting everything up so well. We're gonna talk about what happened on Collision a little bit later, but it feels like they're setting it up so well to be like a Moxley conclusion to lose the world title in my mind. Like I don't know. Like I said, I already didn't want this to go past Revolution anyway. So maybe that's where I'm at too. Maybe that's why I'm thinking that. Because I don't want this to continue. I want this to end. I don't care what anyone says. I know there's some people who are kind of turning around on the Death Rider story because Cope's been doing a good job. I'm not. I'm ready for this to be over. I'm ready to move on and do something else with the world title.
Oh yeah, Cope's carrying the story now.
Oh, for sure. It sucks for Jay White because Jay White was the guy, right? Like Jay White was the guy. He was getting beat up a lot, and then we get Cope, and now it feels like that kind of just got forced in there. When it feels like Jay White should have been the one to dethrone Moxley because he was in there every week by himself, just going at the Death Riders. But now Copeland's in the middle of this. He gets cut. He cuts him in line. I don't know. A lot of things could happen, but in my mind, I need for this Death Rider, at least as a world champion, this needs to end. It needs to be over.
It's really hard for me to see Christian cashing in and winning because it's only because of the Ops, right? Like the Ops are on his ass. Like he shows up anywhere, they're going to be there. Like there's no way they're not going to be there, right?
Yeah.
Unless they get beat up by the Death Riders, which I doubt. Right, you're not beating up the Death Riders, or for sure not beating up those three.
No,
and taking them out. Right, it's either that or the Ops just aren't in the building and Christian wins. Fiona is cool, but it could be the other thing too, which is Copeland wins, Christian cashes in and wins, and escapes the Ops because the Ops are going to be on his ass.
My nightmare scenario.
Your complete nightmare might happen.
Oh God, I don't know. It also could be, we could be thinking about this too, but it could be another like really random thing where Christian tries to tries to do it, right, but doesn't even get a chance to cash it in because the ops come in. Like, that's a whole other option, right? Like, so he can still keep it and just doesn't get the cash in.
Yeah, he has to finish whatever that he's doing with the ops, which is more than likely him fighting Samoa Joe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to get that blow off, and then he can finally cash in. But right now, since they're heavily in that storyline, and the ops is like, no, wherever you at, Christian, we're going to be on your ass. I doubt he's going to cash in on the pay-per-view. If he does, I'll be surprised. And if he does, or if it could be the other option where he tries to and they just completely annihilate him. He can't even get to the ring. He'll be trying to drag himself to the ring.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, who knows?
It's such a weird situation, right? Because the match is most likely going to be good, for sure. This might be one of the best, like, Death Riders Jon Moxley AEW World Championship matches. Maybe. We don't even know. But there are so many other little things that could make this, like, kind of sour the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I think the start of Copeland getting rid of the Death Riders is a good call. We'll talk about that more on Collision for sure. But trying to make it a one-on-one is probably the best case scenario for that match, to make it, like, somewhat decent. Because I don't think we can go through another pay-per-view where the whole card's good and the main event's just, like, okay. Like, This can't be it, right? They got 20. I don't know how many people they have in that building. Crypto can hold like 20,000 people. I don't know how many they actually sold, but all those people in the building, we have to have, like, some kind of definitive ending, right? And I don't know if everyone wants this Death Rider story to end. I know I do. We've talked about it, that you're kind of on that same page too. We definitely do need to, like, have some kind of definitive solution, or bare minimum, someone break the case and let us see the title again. Because it is, and I know what Moxley was saying, like, oh, I'm the world champion, you don't need to see it, blah, blah, blah. Bro, since the whole TV deal, we haven't seen the world title. We barely seen the Trios Championships. They just started bringing those back. So let's wrap this up. The world championship should be on the show. I don't know why we're hiding that gorgeous title for 4 months. Just bring it back, end the story, and let's move on.
Man, this is a great looking world title. It's close to the New Japan title, the old New Japan title.
That V4, bro, the one that I have here. Yes, fantastic title.
Yeah, this is an amazing looking title, man. That and like my two favorite are that and the New Japan IC title.
Oh, that title's gone too.
And that title's gone. That was an amazing looking title.
But yeah, man, that's kind of where my thoughts are. We need to find a way to wrap up at least this part of the Death Rider storyline. Let's move on. Put the title on someone where we can see it, and let's go.
Yeah, because, like, the issue is he's going to be able to take out everybody but Marina Shafir.
But I think they're setting up with Willow. I think we're gonna get like a pre-show Willow Marina Shafir. Also, that's also crazy too, because Marina hasn't wrestled since being a Death Rider, at least not on AEW TV.
Right.
So it isn't like a lose-lose for her also, because if she has a match against Willow and she loses, that means she's been the muscle for months, but loses her first match. Like, that's also shitty.
I don't think they're going to wrestle. I think it's just going to be Willow comes in and stops her from doing whatever she's doing.
That makes more sense, right?
Like, she just, stops her, knocks her out, and then those two start fighting, and maybe those two start a feud, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, you talk about Beth Phoenix too. That could be a possibility too. Beth Phoenix comes out.
It could also be Beth Phoenix. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
If that's who it is, God help you.
Yeah, that's for sure one and done, right? We don't have to worry about that. Beth Phoenix will come in there. She'll stop anything that Marina's doing because she has the legend power up that people in wrestling have, and we will hopefully move on then too. Whatever scenario that we have, we need a scenario where Moxley is not the world champion anymore. I don't care how it happened. Well, I do care how it happened. That's a lie, but Let's just make this happen.
Yeah, I agree.